Okay, so with those people that are successful, people that actually having that impact, making the profit, building that business,
Mm.
are there any characteristics or behaviors that really jump out that you see that are like, oh, that's the key to building a successful business? Welcome, everyone, to the main journey, a way for you to join me on a learning journey through life. My name is Samuel Main, and today we welcome Rich Taylor-Wellington to the show. Rich is a husband and business partner with Elaine, a proud dad, coach, and successful business owner. He hosts a YouTube channel talking all things life, business, and purpose, but with very minimal limits or rules. Rich hosts a podcast called Profit with Purpose and is a leader in the fitness coaching industry. Rich, dude, it's so good to see you.
What a monstrosity. What an absolute beast of an intro that is.
Hey, we're only getting started. We got a full hour together, buddy.
Did you tell them about my beard and my hairline as well?
How handsome you are. They're gonna have to come to the video to see that. Gonna have to come to see the video. Rich, we have worked together on and off for years now, which is kind of crazy to think about, both obviously in the fitness coaching industry. Can you give an insight into what you're focusing on currently, and then also share an overview of how you help people?
Yeah. Focus currently. Well, it used to be richwellington.com. But I'm a married man now, Sam Main. Sam was actually at the wedding, weren't you, Sam?
Yes, sir.
So yeah, I'm actually richtaylorwellington.com now. So I think the adaptations or the evolution that's happened over the last few years has helped us focus on the thing that we are uniquely genius at, my wife and I, which is helping people find what their purpose is, whilst also profiting, from that purpose as well. So yeah, we really focus on bringing people into the fold of our family. I think, to explain it in a simple way, like we bring people to our home. We run a lot of in-person masterminds and get-togethers where people can feel the tangibility of what it's like to actually be coached by people and experience that, in its full force. We don't stand for, we do have mini courses and little workshops and stuff, but I think the brunt of our work is done like very hands-on, sort of in the trenches, if you want to describe it that way.
Yeah.
And yeah, we have focused a lot on fitness coaches, personal trainers, nutritionists, anything fitness industry based, anyone that's operated in there. But we're starting to begin to make this transition into more of the solopreneur stratosphere, because we realize the things that we coach on and the things that we teach in our own experience actually moves beyond, just fitness coaches and personal trainers, basically. And that's really exciting for us. It's experimental for us right now because we've not made this transition before. But we've had hints and pulls from the universe that that's the direction, we need to go in. Did you say, how do we help people as well?
Yeah. How do you help people?
Every person that we look after, it's all a unique journey, so like any coach, we've got certain ways of doing things, but we adapt those things to every different person, that comes in under our wing, essentially. Because I don't think any person deserves to be looked after mechanically or be treated like, what's one of the things I said years ago, like a sausage in a sausage factory. I don't think anybody deserves to be treated like that. Same old sausage. I think each little sausage that comes into our world gets wrapped up, in its own unique little sheath and its own unique little herbs and spices. And we send those little sausages back out into the world to, do their own little bit of magic. So, yeah, we don't have like a one size, fits all, but that's served us really well, helped us keep a really solid reputation, over the years. And every person that we work with stays with us for a very long time, because of that as well. And that's really important to us.
Love that. I could have guessed that within 5 minutes you'd have me laughing, but of course, the visuals of you then with the sausages, that was throwing me off completely.
I always imagine it though, in like the sausage factory. You remember like on social media when people going crazy about like, this is how sausages are made. And
Yeah,
there's just like this line of like crap, coming out. And I always pictured in my mind, like just the people that work in those places just have no respect for the food. So if anything goes on the floor, it just kind of like gets kicked and trodden on.
flavor. It's called
Say again?
flavor.
Flavor. 5 minute rule. But I always imagine like coaches being treated like that.
Hmm.
Business owners being treated like that, going through the same systems. And people look around and wonder why everyone looks and sounds and smells the same in the industry, doing
Yeah,
the same post, talking about the same shit. I'm like, yeah, because you're not harnessing or enabling people's unique factors or personal life experiences. You just tell them to say the same shit as everyone else.
yeah.
So yeah, that pisses me off.
So me and you have a very similar coaching style and also business and approach to what we're doing. You've started to lean into it there already, but what are the most common mistakes that you see even new coaches making, or even just ultimately business owners making?
Yeah. I think there's a big lack of trust in self for a lot of people. One of the things that I say to people, like when people come to the mastermind, I'm pointing over there, like where I'm pointing. I'm pointing to Middleton on the Wolds. Well, I'm in East Yorkshire, for any Yorkshire people listening or watching. Praise to you. But Middleton on the Wolds at the bar, and I say to everybody, you know, uh, the likelihood of me teaching you something new this weekend over these next few days is quite slim. In fact, what we're going to be doing is either giving you permission to do the things you know you should be doing, or just pulling out the things that you already know so you can action them because you're ready to do that. Maybe there are a few things that you don't know that we're going to look at. And we call those breakthroughs, right?
Yeah.
I think most people know what they should be doing. Like fitness clients. Fitness clients know they should be eating better food. They know they should be moving their body a little bit more, and they shouldn't be eating fucking 10 pies a day. You know,
Yeah.
coaching people in
Complex.
this realm is very similar, you know. So mistakes wise, yeah, I think trust in self is number one. Well, that's an okay thing to admit. I think number two would be not getting help sooner, like trying to do things on their own for too long. Like people get to this point of struggle. I'm like, you're behaving exactly the same way that your clients behave. You need to transcend that fucking behavior, because then you'll attract better clients for yourself, but first and foremost for you. And what would be a third one? A third one would be looking around at what everyone else is doing and then mimicking.
Mm.
Oh, that person charges that amount, so I'm going to charge that amount. Oh, that person does a 90-day program, so I'm going to do a 90-day program. Nobody thinks originally. Nobody thinks uniquely. Everyone like looks
Yeah.
outside of themselves for the answers before looking inside of like, how would they want to be treated? How would they want to travel through a fitness program or a personal development program?
I like it. You started to touch on it there. I love those examples you gave for the mistakes. And I actually just want to kind of flip that completely to now be like, okay, so with those people that are successful, people that are actually having that impact, making the profit, building that business, are there any characteristics or behaviors that really jump out that you see that are like, oh, that's the key to building a successful business?
Also, those that are already on a path of success.
Yeah. Is
I
there
think it's
anything?
different for everybody, man. Honestly, again, because we treat everyone so uniquely, we've got people that are more on the like INTJ side of the
Yeah.
personality spectrum that are very like, data,
Tell me the
logic.
numbers. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, man. And then we've got people that are like my personality type. I'm ENFP, so like I'm like head in the clouds, feet in the dirt. More in the clouds than in the dirt sometimes. And I'm like, it's all about the feeling. How does this
Action.
feel, and what's this going to look like? Inside of this person's life. So I think you've got to play to knowing yourself
Mhm.
first and foremost, because otherwise you're going to build a business that you feel miserable inside of. And that's not a pathway to purpose.
Yeah.
That's a pathway to misery. So you will meet, you'll have met people over the years that have built a business and it might be really profitable, but they feel like they've created a miserable job for themselves.
Yeah. 7 a.m. till 9 p.m. at night job. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with a bit of hustle, to get to a point of realization, because sometimes you have to go through those experiences to have the perspective. But if we're talking about people that are successful with happiness as well as profitability and, working with the dream people, they've all followed some path, whether it's long, short, deep or shallow, of personal development, first and foremost, and realized that the mechanical components of a business never change, but the human has the ability to pull the levers in the right order with the right pressure at the right time in order to get the business where it needs to be. But if the human can't turn up and pull those levers effectively, doesn't matter how good the strategies and tactics are.
Yeah.
So the human first and foremost, and then secondly, it would be marrying that person up, or they've married themselves up with systems and a degree of discipline that suits them. Like if you ask me to be in the spreadsheets and all that other stuff, I'd be like, dude, I might as well go back. I might as well go work in McDonald's or do something that would genuinely make me personally quite miserable. I need to be in a place of flowing creativity in order to serve people in the way that I do.
And connection.
So people have got a personal development, like, don't get lost or stuck in personal development, because you end up thinking there's something wrong with you. I've noticed some people, then there's nothing there. There's a funny sketch that I shared with Danny Allman earlier, and it's I've forgotten the name of the comedian, but it's a scene of where the patient walks into have a counselling session, and she offloads all of her problems, and he's like, I can solve this with 2 words. And he just says, stop it. Just fucking stop it. Stop. And she's like, no. He's like, stop it. Just fucking stop it. And I think sometimes we can become so attached to believing we have a problem that we can get lost. And people will come to me, they're like, I've been doing some deep work on myself the last 10 years. And I'm like, that's what Alcoholics Anonymous says to people. You're going to live with this for the rest of your life, and it's going to be a struggle every day. Just let go of it, man. Just fucking stop. Personal development. Second one, marrying up your business to be like an extension of just how you want to live.
Love that.
Because then it won't be work. It won't be difficult. It won't be a grind. You'll be excited to get out of bed, put your feet on the floor, open the curtains, and do the thing that you fucking want to do every day.
Love that. You reminded me, one of my close friends, he's not in the coaching industry at all, but his one line for coaching is be better. He's just like, any problem, just be better. It always makes me laugh. You started to lean into this at the very start of today's conversation. You said about that you help solopreneurs, and ultimately, I just want you to start to expand on that. What does that mean? What's the difference of a solopreneur, to an entrepreneur, or why is that someone that you lean into and help?
Yeah. Solopreneurs are usually 1 to 2 person businesses. 1 person business is usually the line that's sort of broad brushed, but like we are classed as a solopreneur business, but we are a 2 person business.
Yeah.
Because the 1 person is just taking the limelight, if you like, is played on the front end. We can relate the most to those people, basically, is, why we love looking after them, because there are some unique problems, issues, things that come up as people are traveling towards making that business, profitable and fun, purposeful to operate.
Yeah, like that. So obviously you've accumulated a lot of experience. You've coached now probably thousands of PTs and nutritionists and business owners. If you had to start fresh as a coach or someone building a business, what steps would you take?
Okay. I'm going to return your question with a question.
Hit me.
In this make-believe scenario, am I in need of cash quickly, or have I got the ability to breathe for a few months?
You've got an ability to breathe, and you're also already a skilled personal trainer or coach. You know how to help someone.
Okay, and how tall am I?
You are as tall as you are right now. You can't even get any better looking. It's impossible.
Excellent. Okay, so what would I do? Am I in person or online?
Up to you.
Okay, we're on two scenarios then. So if I was in person and I was already skilled and I got experience, maybe I've moved to like a different town, right?
Yeah.
To start from scratch and no one's followed me.
Mhm.
Perfect. So exactly what I would do, I have my PT kit on. I would have some flyers printed and I would go out into that town. I would make friends, relationships, connections. I'd be in every shop, shaking hands with the business owners and just making myself known. And I would be doing that day after day after day in that town, to get known. I would have already established a relationship with like whatever gym, suited me to serve my clients in. And I would have a really great relationship with the person or the people that own that place. And I would probably, first of all, offer, one-to-one sessions. And I would probably ask the gym owner if we could put on some classes, and things like that. I'd probably start off at a similar price point to everyone else in the area, maybe a little bit more, just to sort of get people in through the door, build relationship with them. And I'd be asking for referrals. I would just be trying to build my client base up as quickly as possible. If I was in person, I would still establish a digital presence as well. So I'd be adding people. I'd go into all the like for sale groups. So I've got a gauge on what people lived in that area. I would start with women personally. That was always my niche in person anyway. Because women tend to wear their problems externally a little bit more. They're willing to talk about it. So I'd probably put women only sessions on and specialize in female transformations. I'd be adding those people and I'd be putting some content out. I'd be going live, showing my face, showing my voice, my personality, just being myself on camera, most days of the week. And I'd be getting into conversations with people. So if I was obviously in this space where I needed to get clients, the unfortunate truth is, as much as none of us really like it, and our 3 to 5 year goal at this point in time, by the way, is to not have to DM, is to not DM anymore, is for us just to be well known enough of where we put content out and it's enough to build audience and get inquiries, basically. I think anyone listening or watching would be like, "Oh, it sounds like a dream scenario." Yeah, it might be a dream scenario. I might be further away than 5 years. Who knows? Yeah, but if I was starting from scratch in a new place, the reality would be I would have to do some messaging. I would have to inbox some people and just introduce myself. No weird salesiness, just saying hi and it's great to be friends. And I'm just I'm making friends with ladies in the local area that are maybe looking to come and join another fitness class, have a personal trainer in their life, basically. And I'd be doing that like 7 days a week to begin with to get some momentum. And it would all build from there.
What I love about what you've just gone through there, in the nicest way, none of that's complex. None of that is, you've got to design this super complex funnel and with targeted Facebook ads and all of these things. It's just, nope, have belief in what you do, belief in your offer, go and speak with people, make connections, and build it up day by day.
Yeah, man, 100%. Yeah, you could definitely run some ads. Definitely run some ads, 100%. Some awareness stuff, and you could run some ladies locally to an application to get on a call. There's much more tangibility, but yeah, I would have I'm speaking from my point in my journey right now. I'd have a high degree of trust in self to go out, and by the end of the week, I would have clients.
Yeah.
100%. People by people, man. I know it sounds so cliche, but at the end of it, at the end of the funnel, or at the end of the paid advert, or whatever it is that you're fucking running, like you're gonna have to deal with the person anyway.
Yeah.
So why not? Like, I'll use the word dominate. We dominated our local area, and not like through aggression, just through being there when other trainers and other coaches and fitness class, owners were not, and they were being lazy,
Yeah.
not showing up. We were the ones that were out in town with personal trainer on, and I was taking the clients around the fucking middle of the town square for warm-ups and making it a bit louder so the people could hear. And my class times were at like peak times where the town was busy and stuff. We got known like really quickly for what we did.
Great. It's great. You mentioned at the start about people have almost like copy and paste programs. How do you approach helping someone with either their program design, but also then their pricing? Because obviously they're so linked as well.
Yeah, I think over the years we've tended to attract, like for like. So people that are either quite aware that it's not just about training nutrition and they want to incorporate some personal development work, or back in the day it was called more like mindset work, right? With their own clients. And they would come to us to learn that part of their business first and foremost. I'm not the guy people come to if you're wanting to learn how to like structure a undulating wave loaded training program. Because I'll be honest, I used to show up, to my classes, and 5 minutes before people rocked up, I'd be on the whiteboard thinking, oh yeah, what did Sandra do the other day? Oh yeah, let's not put none of them in. Oh, but I know Laura's coming, so I'm going to give her 100 burpees. And I would just know the people so well that I would just, it'd all just be like that basically. And people would rock up and they'd cry because they had to do burpees and running. So that again was just from knowing the people.
Yeah.
I think people lack connection sometimes with their people, and they look at them more as numbers than humans. On the nutritional side as well, we kept things dead simple. Nowadays I think a lot of coaches are a bit snobby about what certificate they have or haven't got around nutrition. I'll be honest, we found a lot of this out. We had Naomi from Fit Pro Recipes put together our recipe books and our meal plans and things like that. So really, when the coaches have come to us over the years, they've come for the personal development piece, whether they've realized it or not, and then to seek simplicity.
Nice.
Always simplicity over complexity, because that removes friction, to get the result. You take someone who's like, oh, so we don't have to build a funnel. I'm like, fuck no. No, but you are going to have to be like a better communicator.
You have to be a better
because that's going to benefit every part of your life,
Yeah. Yeah. I love that fact of ultimately going back to simplicity. And I love that you mentioned for coaches, and I was in this trap myself, where it feels like, oh, I'll get more clients if I get even more qualified. If I do my PT level 3, my level 4, my level 5. And it's like, oh, I'm really sorry to tell you, but that's not the case. It's going to help you with the confidence of your delivery. But ultimately, sometimes it just adds way more complexity than that's what's needed. And actually, a little bit of direction in your marketing and your sales is going to help you get a full client base, and you'll learn how to deliver your program better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
man.
personal trainers, more than anyone, I've noticed, they just accumulate more and more qualifications. And the ironic thing is, I worked with thousands of PT clients. I coached for many, many years in the gyms. No one ever asked, oh, what qualifications have you got? They don't care. They don't care.
I mean, let's be honest. You had one knobhead at once upon a time that did.
Once, yeah. I shut him down because I could lift heavier than him anyway. So it was like,
Yeah.
But yeah, I think for a lot of people, they get, in that race of, oh, I got to get more qualifications because that would make me feel more confident in my delivery. Whereas actually some direction in marketing, sales, and the delivery, like you say, learn how to connect with people can go such a long way. Such a long way.
100%. Dude, like I've worked with a lot of people, and you know what? A high percentage of people, through them understanding themselves better through our coaching, has actually steered them away from the fitness industry. They've realized, now I understand myself better and what I want out of my life, I actually don't want to be a personal trainer.
Yeah.
But like people, I had a lady once who was like, I remember on the call, she was like, holy shit. I was like, what? She was like, I've just realized something. And I was like, you're going to go to India. and be like a meditation or yoga teacher or something, right? And she was like, yeah, I don't want to do this. And I was like, off you go.
It's
Kicked
great.
her off the call, and she went off to India and did
Amazing.
qualifications and stuff, and she just left the fitness industry in that sort of realm. She went
Yeah.
and she's like a spiritual female empowerment coach or whatever now. But yeah, and then there's guys that were in the industry as nutritional coaches. By the time they finished working with us, they've just like shaken my hand and said, "You've saved my relationship. I'm now like really happy. We've got a kid on the way
Yeah.
and stuff." And that's like, that's sometimes what people need to go through their journey.
Yeah.
So not everybody always comes realizing that that might be the thing that gets
I think
uncovered.
it's also a realization of building a coaching business is incredibly difficult. If
Yeah.
you want it to build it, for me, I'm talking about building something that's like, let's say super successful. You're serving a lot of people, having lots of impact, very profitable. A lot of people think, oh, I can just put a few posts on Facebook and I'm going to get 50 clients. I'm going to be earning 10 grand a month online. I'm going to do that from a beach in Bali. And I'm like, oh, don't get me wrong, there's some wonderful, stories of people doing that. But the reality is they're either extremely, highly valuable already, or they have a massive audience that they've accumulated for years and years and years. And yeah, I think people, and it's easy because I fell into it too. I made this mistake. But yeah, I think people underestimate how difficult it can be to run and build a successful online coaching business. So I think also when people do, buy into some coaching, some mentorship, and then realize the steps some people have to take, it's like, oh, wait a minute. Life was pretty good before. I think I'm good.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
think I'm
dude.
good.
And this is why. So I'm back a few years. We've never offered like 90-day programs
Mhm.
or 60-day sprints.
Yeah.
We've always said from the off, like 6 months was like our minimum,
The sweet spot.
but 12 to 18 months is like the ideal
Yeah.
scenario. And you came and you delivered at our mastermind, right? And you've obviously been to the wedding. You can see the people in our life who are still around, getting
Yep.
cared for by us and looked after us after 2 years plus.
It's great.
I think sometimes it can be a little bit like what's that saying? Like a nympho in a cucumber field. But coaches are so keen to like hop from one cucumber to the other, thinking that it's going to go deeper and it's going to feel nicer. When actually, I say to people, even if we work together for the next 5 years, I'm developing at a rate, I'm already ahead of you technically,
Yep.
in terms of journey and time in seat. Like, there's still going to be stuff I can show you and teach you because I'm
Yep.
going to still be playful and experimental with what I do, and it's like that's ultimately what the fitness coaches want from their clients as well. They want longevity, they want better relationships, they want their lifetime value and their churn rate to be low, but lifetime value to increase. They want all that stuff.
Yep.
That happens with the fucking humans, man. It happens with the people.
Yeah. I think for me, more of the conversation I've been starting to have is almost like an acceptance of those challenges. And like, it's okay. It's part of the journey. But you've got to accept that, hey, sometimes I'm going to have to, like you said earlier, put in the late night, the early mornings. But then the flip side of that, sometimes you get a day where you've got no calls and you've got nothing you need to do. And that's the flexibility you get. It's the roller coaster of being, of running your own business. And I think if
Mm,
you're making that move from, let's say, a 9 to 5, which there is nothing wrong with at all, but if you're making that move towards starting your own coaching business or building or scaling a coaching business, you also got to accept that, hey, yes, maybe you'll make more profit than you ever have before, but you're also going to have to step up your own level of skills, responsibility, commitments
mm,
to make that
yeah.
happen. And I think, like you said, is like some people will step in, make that decision, and then they go, oh, wait a minute. Oh, this is hard. And that's where
Yeah.
like that, fight or flight almost comes in.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah, like I say, I just caught up with Danny Allman, just before we've got on.
Mhm.
And we were talking about like identity shifts, through different parts of your life and your business journey. And I think that's what plays against most people, is if they've never had to be this person, if they've never made that amount of money, they've never looked after people in the way that they sort of want to, it can take some time to learn how to be that person.
Yeah.
It takes reps.
Yeah.
It takes reps, practice, feedback, reiteration, practice back out on the floor again, like a sport, like a really great sports person, or, your Lewis Hamiltons and all stuff like that. Man, they fucking put hours and hours and hours in to look as graceful as they do. So when people, like got feedback from the masterminds and things, and they're just like, yeah, so amazing. And I'm just like, yeah, but that's fine. I appreciate the feedback. But also you need to remember all the hours that I've spent talking to myself in the office.
Yeah. Yeah.
Talking to myself in the mirror, practicing scenarios before I've got on calls with people to help them. I decided, I can't remember how many years ago, I don't and ah.
I like that.
So I told myself for 2 years, I'm not a person that communicates with and ahs.
Strong.
Yeah, that just doesn't happen anymore. I'd like program that out of myself.
I love that. You mentioned then that you spent the time talking to the mirror. I also know that you put a lot of work in to ultimately social media and sharing your message, connecting with your audience. I feel like there's been loads of changes, even over this last couple of years, in content, what's working, what's not. What's something that you feel is working at the moment or that you align with really well?
Yeah. One thing to remember, I think, I've stopped buying into the algorithm talk so much. For me, the algorithm is the humans.
Like that.
Then the end of the day, that's all the algorithm is. So if you don't get interactions and stuff on your post, you're probably not talking to people in the way they want to be spoken to.
I like that.
And yeah, there is a position of personal brand, of what you talk about. So it's not like bowing down just to like the needs or the requirements of the niche or micro niche, whatever it is that you serve. But like, if you're not compelling enough to listen to because you've actually not got enough experience to share valuable stuff with people, you've got to earn it. You've got to earn attention. Attention is the currency, right? But Hormozy's talking about this, and it's something we can all relate to. Currency is the thing that people are wanting to spend their time and money on. In terms of like content that I personally enjoy making, there's been a shift for me this year. I've usually been a video first guy. Do you know how many live videos I've done over the years?
I can only imagine.
2,000. I've done 2,000 live videos, right? Some days back when we were first getting, richwellington.com started, I was going live like 4 or 5 times a day.
Putting in the reps.
Yeah, man. But do you know why though? Do you know why? I was just excited. I was just excited. I had all this energy and stuff I wanted to talk about, and you could have just put me live like double that, and I still would have had stuff to share and discuss always, because I just love it.
Yeah,
right. Just love it. So video first, but I didn't go in with structure. I just had this childlike energy, and I would just go, what do I want to talk about? Oh yeah. I might come off this today,
hit live,
and be like, oh, that thing we talked about with Sam, and I'll just write a quick title. I'll just hit go live. I'll just start talking, and it'll just come out. But I think that's a lot of years spent in the family business, in the shop. And then, I was in the Air Force, communication was a big thing in all the teams. And, I've done a lot of selling for a lot of different people over the years. And talking was just, something that I think was just bred into me from a young age. But video first. But what I've realized this year is if I write first, it'll give me a little bit more of a
structure,
a guidance system and structure to follow. And then I can be a little bit more disciplined with my creation. So I can create all day long, but now instead I'm sitting very purposefully. It's taking me anywhere between 60 to 90 minutes to write a very detailed, in-depth, true value article. Not this like, give value, and you do a 30-second reel. That's not value, guys. There's no value in a 30-second reel telling people to be in a calorie deficit. It's bullshit. Write something over 1,000 words in an article, step by step. This is how you do it. This is what I've done. This is what this client did. So I write that first, and then I come to Ecamm, record the video, which takes about another 30 minutes, and then I edit it down. So I've then got an article in the newsletter. We've got a YouTube video, long form, and I inject there's like between the gaps, personalities and bits of excitement in the video.
Yep.
And then just take the audio out and turn it into a podcast.
Love
Done.
it.
That's the whole content ecosystem done in like, 2 or 3 hours.
Love it. What I like about that, because me and you're very similar in the things that we're doing and that we're building, is if you do that consistently for the next year, that you're going to build an audience, going to be putting out extremely valuable content, you're going to be building trust, starting conversations, and serving people. Tick, 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 tick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've stopped putting as much trust into Facebook. Don't get me wrong. We've had a great relationship all these years. But I feel like there's been a lot of changes on Facebook.
Yeah.
Last couple of years. I used to go live and, I'd get like a few hundred views and tens of comments and things like that. The content don't get served the same anymore.
No.
And I've got double the amount of friends, believe it or not, than I did back then.
Yep.
Still relevant audience, and I've had a couple of groups. Smaller groups have worked better than bigger groups.
Yeah.
Had a group that was like 250 people, and that got more engagement and deeper, better quality conversations than the group that were like over double the size. People just want to be fucking spoken to like humans, man. Like they want to be able to connect with somebody, So yeah, the content side of things I'm really excited about this year. Really excited about. And I think not putting trust into a platform where we don't pay to be on. Like we don't get to control, the free platforms that we exist inside. We're basically just squatters.
Yeah.
We're squatting on Facebook, dude.
It's a huge amount of risk attached with that. I talk about it all the time, is those platforms can shut down at any point, especially like TikTok. There's a ticking time bomb,
Yeah. Do your dancing videos. Do it. Lose all self-respect for yourself. But like, got to deplatform your people. That's the narrative that I'm really driving home. Like an obsessed man is got to deplatform the people.
Yeah.
So they're not reliant on suckling from the teat of Facebook. It's like, you can get an email off me. You can go to YouTube and see my face. You can listen to a podcast,
Yeah. Sorry to interrupt you then.
Sorry.
I've definitely noticed this last 6 months more of a shift towards offline. I've heard more and more coaches be like, no, I want to do more offline work, which has been really interesting. Really interesting. I think that's a lot of that is through obviously COVID. There was a lot of connection lost for a lot of people, and getting back to offline is in a way it's unbeatable, right? When you see someone in person, it creates a different bond than online. Always does.
Yeah, dude.
Really interesting.
I won't say his name, but there's a guy we were looking after during the COVID period, and his gym was closed, like in the middle of London. So there's big overhead, fees associated with that. And we've got other guys that in, like Manchester, they weren't able to open. So I said to him, here's my prediction. My prediction is through all this disconnect and people being away from each other, not allowed to see each other, and being only the online realm, there's going to be a huge market swing. Huge market swing. As soon as people are like, feel safe to come back out from their boroughs, and they can go and get in person again and come into the gyms, your business is going to fucking do that.
Yeah.
And sure enough, I caught up with him a few days ago, and he was just like, fucking hell, beyond what we were fucking doing before, basically, because people are just loving the physical interaction and having relationships with people again.
Also, highlighted the importance of health and connection for a lot of people too, because of that. We went to one extreme. And it's also for me, I've made a conscious effort to get to more events this year
Mm,
because I'm starting to realize once you get to a certain level of skill and experience, it is then just your network and the people that you're connected with that are your next leaps. And that's been amazing for me. It's just connecting with people in person.
yeah.
And events are, yeah, you never know what you're going to get. So they're always good fun.
All right, Forrest Gump.
Yeah, something like that.
The coaching
Something like
business like a box of chocolates.
that. You never know what you're going to get. There we are. There we are. So if we fast forward a year from now for
Mm,
you, um, where do you want your business to be? What are you focusing on?
yeah, nice, dude. Good question. So, a year from now, we're just getting started on our YouTube journey.
Mhm.
I've been procrastinating around the YouTube thing for like 6 years. So, hallelujah. So that feels really nice to be getting started on that. You get a little email through. We're using it's a free tool. It's called vidIQ. You know, some of you might know what it is, but anyway, it like sends you an email every time you go through like a marker of views or subscribers or whatever. So it's nice getting a little weekly email. I got the email for 900 views
Let's go.
the other morning. I was like, yeah, they're about to go into the four figures, which is just quite exciting, you know. So yeah, the YouTube channel will be established in a much healthier way. We'll have like hundreds of videos on there, and the subscriber base will be, you know, beyond 1,000 is really, you know, what we're aiming for. I'm not expecting to be like, you know, in the millions of
1
subscribers in
million.
the first couple of years, but if we can get to 1,000, honestly, my heart would be really full. And then that's helping to drive more readers to the newsletter and more subscribers on that platform as well. And we'll be continuing to deliver, you know, at least one newsletter a week of detail to people there. The podcast, same thing. The downloads will be increasing. What else? I think the 3 to 5 year goal that I shared around DMs being less of a thing. It would be nice to get to the end of this year, the beginning of next year, and be like, oh yeah, I've noticed we're just getting more just messages, just drop in, and you know, people inquiring about stuff. That'd be a really cool place to be. Just because again, this shift that we've made in the last couple of months is like quite experimental
Yeah.
for us. So by no means are we starting from scratch because we're known and we've got, you know, a client base right now, but there is a degree of like we kind of don't know what's on the other side of all this stuff. I think for our masterminds and the in-person stuff to take an even stronger anchor and hold, you know, why people come to work with us. That would be really cool. And then what else? Yeah, I don't know. I'm struggling to answer that question actually.
I think you've answered it very well.
Mm,
It's just
yeah,
building upon what you're currently doing, isn't it?
yeah,
It's really cool.
yeah. Honestly, and do you know what I notice? Anytime we force promotion or there's like salesy, markety type calls to action in what we do, man, it repels more people than it
Yeah,
attracts.
I've noticed
You
that.
know, you know, and maybe you know you do. I don't know if other people that are listening or watching, you know, sort of feel or experience that. But when we're just sharing, talking, and just connecting in a human way with zero intention of selling to people, it's highly attractive to
Yeah.
others, is what we've experienced. And when we've asked for feedback, they're just like, do you know what I really love more than anything, guys? Is that you were never trying to sell to me. You
Yeah.
know, and I was getting inboxes from other people like saying, hey, do you want to hit 10K a month? And hey, we can help you build this funnel. And hey, we can help you do that. And you were just like asking me, like, how's your dog? You know, because my fucking dog's leg got fucking hurt or whatever. You just actually genuinely cared
A
and you were sending me
human.
voice notes. And yeah, you're just being human. You know, you're being that friendly shop in town that you could go in, not necessarily buy anything, but you'd always have, you know, friendly, connective,
Yeah.
you know, yeah, friendly connection with.
I like it. I like it. So, Richo, I have a question that I ask every single one of my guests that come on the podcast. The
Mm.
question is, What advice would your future self give you in this current moment?
Trust yourself. Just know that everything that you're doing right now is for a reason. I mean, if you have to change some stuff, don't worry about it. Take it easy on yourself. Don't overthink. You've got everything that you need right now to be successful. You know, to be the person who you want to be, to have the relationship that you want. You just need to trust that it's all in there. You're just looking for a way to get it out and bring it out into the realm of tangibility and reality.
Nicely said.
Mm.
Very well done. Very well done. Richo, there's 100% going to be a few people that want to come and check out what you do, check out some of the content. Where would be the best place for someone to come and learn more about you? And all the links and stuff will be down below, but where would be the best place to go?
Yeah, cool, man. I think, like I mentioned, we're on YouTube, so you can put in I think my little @ thing, because you can use handles now on YouTube.
Can?
Because YouTube's coming for TikTok and Instagram and stuff, @TheRichTW on YouTube. Our newsletter is just on richtaylorwellington.com/newsletter. I'll only email you once a week, and you'll just get cool, deep, insightful, knowledge into your inbox, as well as the video and the podcast to go with it. Or if you want to connect with me on Facebook, I'm sure you can find me on Sam's wall or his friend list.
I'll be there.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I like it. Richo, I want to just express my gratitude to coming on the show, but also just being a true friend for me more than anything. And I think for me, I can see the energy that you've now got, and I'm excited to see, that next year, that next 3 to 5 years. I'm excited to see that.
Cheers, man. Yeah. Appreciate you too.
Like and subscribe.